This is a mess. A motherfucking mess. Alright, I've got a split screen going.
I don't see anything but
Facebook
you.
Live. No, I know. You would just see me, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I can see you. I just don't know what else is going on.
Getting closer. Oh, getting closer. Okay, now we're both visible. Oh, yeah. In order to see the comments from Facebook, I have to have another window open.
It's fine. I'll just watch it through Facebook on my end. Well, maybe not. Looks like it's not gonna work. Or if I start it, I'm gonna hear us and me.
I love it. I love Facebook. It's just the best. It's just fucking incredible. It's like, you want somebody to record with you? And you're like, yeah. And it's like,
I'm going to tell you that you can, but you're not actually going to be able to.
Happening.
So I hope that's fun.
This is fun for y'all. I just want to be able to see what they're, saying, I guess. Because I have a thing up. I got you.
I see. I mean, I'm watching on Facebook on my other end. It's behind.
Of course it is. It will always be behind.
But... And it's doing closed captions for some reason.
I closed a bunch of shit out. I love it. I love it.
I think this bumped us down to 2-star content officially.
All right.
So
Zach says he sees us both.
You guys are witnessing Deadtime Storiez history. We're officially downgrading from 3-star to 2-star content today on this 2-star Tuesday.
2-star Tuesday. I love it.
We're going to get a shit ton of 0-star ratings on Apple Podcasts where they don't leave a comment. They just put 0 stars.
Just 0 stars.
Just 0. Get that rating down.
Well, it's 1 star, but then it says I'd leave 0 stars if I could.
Woo! Where's the lie? Where is the lie?
If I full screen it, Mary Angela, then I can't see the comments that you're leaving. All I would see is me and Sarah. Because Facebook eats a bag of dicks.
It really does. I wonder if Instagram will let us do multiple people. I don't fucking know.
The issue with Instagram is it cuts you off at exactly an hour.
Oh, well. Burp.
Facebook will let you...
I can see the comments, but I can't watch the video. The video is, like, way behind.
Right, I'm trying not to watch the video. I'm trying to just look at the comments. Well, see, Mary Angela, I have to use my phone for something else. Because now I have to use my phone to look at my notes because I can't use the computer because the computer is doing this. So I can't look at the comments on my phone. So, gotta love it. I'm finishing this wine bag. Wine bag, that's what they used to call me back in high school.
Wine bag, that's what they call me right now. Like whiny bags.
Whiny bags. I mean, at this point, do I need to lean off to smoke? Mary Angela, stop complicating this. enough without me putting my phone, my tablet, my roommate's computer, my partner's computer, everybody's phone, everybody's everything, all the time, everything. Love it. Sawyer says you got a nice glass, Sarah.
Oh, Sawyer, Seesaw's on. Seesaw gave me this glass.
I'm sure. I figured that's why he said it.
He gave me this glass for Mary Gerard.
Mary Gerard. I love it.
The insanity of Mary Gerard.
The insanity of Mary Gerard.
All right, I've got us playing live on my computer, and I'm gonna. Hey, mute. Shut the fuck up, computer. Okay. We're good. I think. I don't know. Who knows anymore?
I wish it would just let me. I'm like, I would love to split screen us, but it doesn't offer you a split screen on Zoom.
Marianne says my face is all cut up. I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
I did a face mask.
Her face is all cut up. Love it. Okay, well.
Right. Sawyer's here. Val is here. They called us a turd. We might as well just get this going.
I mean, that's the content we're looking for. They're looking for it. They came here for it.
Hey, now we're at number 2 star content. Here. Did everyone just sign off?
Option to view it on my tablet.
I was like, I've got it pulled up if you want to do something different on your end. I can tell you, because Sawyer just said that I always look like that, meaning my face. So, today's going real well.
It's the best. It's the best around. Okay.
Oh. Okay.
All right.
All right. Okay. Good thing we're not actually recording yet. If Val is coming in here to tell us how to do this, I am not here for it.
Right. I'm like, I love you so much. You can go somewhere. Okay, well. Here we are.
I think
Hi, everybody.
On who's gonna be on. Hi, everyone.
Let's try. Can I even? I mean, I can't even. I can never even. It's kind of the problem, isn't it?
Always. What are you trying to do now?
Trying to make you not choppy faced. Okay.
I think it's fixed. I don't think.
It's as fixed as it's gonna be.
Is this growth? I think we backtracked.
Getting messaged by my boss. She's like, if I come in to do your job tomorrow, can you help me?
Oh wow.
Ooh, these auto closed captionings are crazy.
I don't like them.
They're weird,
to be honest, and my whole Facebook froze. So let's just get this party started. Oh, now I just like totally fast forwarded. Now it's frozen again. I'm gonna minimize Skipe. Okay. Exit out of that. And Val said bye, so I think we can get started.
I think that we can. So.
Sorry, Val. Love you. JK, JK.
That's my only last struggle.
You can look as cool as me.
Well, no, because I want to make sure that the microphone doesn't pick you up, but it's trying to, like, do, like, the computer audio. I love this. I love this.
Oof. Love is a strong word. We just told her to...
Because I don't know where mine are. Val's gonna go get me some headless, some wireless headphones, and then we'll be like officially official. So I hope y'all are getting crunk and ready for a mediocre time.
That's it, a mediocre time.
time after mediocre.
That's almost what we called the podcast, mediocre time stories. But we went with Deadtime. I think it works. Well, I might as well use this time while you... Did it poop in your mouth? It pooped in your mouth. I'm going to use this time to shout out, not only is this glass really cool, but we also have some other glasses that are really cool.
Yes, we do.
And that's our mugs for our merchandise. Bwah, 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 bwah. Check that out. Check them out. Burnt right there. Burnt right there. We got 2 styles right now. Buy one, buy both. Do whatever you want to do. But we got those on. We're really excited about that. And then after that, we have our favorite, my favorite thing that we have going is our freaking tote bag. Bah, 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 bah. This artwork by the wonderful Christina, who's in here, I think. Bam, there, right there. And then this one, this side, it's double-sided, y'all. Double-sided, like our double stars. Stephanie made this. Stephanie did this one.
Like our 2-star content.
2 stars.
Love it.
So there you go. We're going places, y'all. Moving on up. Got some merch, and we're actually running kind of low on this section of inventory for this merch, and then we plan on getting some new items added to the shop. So if you haven't yet, go ahead, check us out over at deadtimestoriez.com. That's our website. You'll see all of our previous old episodes, a little bit of about me and myself, and then all of our merch is on the website as well.
Upyourbutt.com.
Stephanie looks like she's not updated her bio, so get on there while that's still not updated and see Stephanie. You can find her at upyourbutt.com.
It does not want to let me connect these. It doesn't want to do anything but what's already happening, so it's too late for me to change anything, and we're just going to fucking run with it, and I love it.
It's great. Everything's fine. Zach is still here. Zach's not crunk. He's on the clock. Zach, where are you working and watching this? Never mind. We appreciate you. Thank you for being her.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for loving us.
Thank you for loving us.
All right. Well,
we're both thinking.
This is very similar. I mean, y'all are. It's like a behind the scenes because this is like how it really goes down.
It's not us spending 30 minutes trying to find out how to live stream. It's us spending 30 minutes just bullshitting and catching up.
Yes, that's very accurate.
I didn't knock it over intentionally. It spilled.
Sipping on it.
I did that for you and Val.
Yeah, Val gets it. Well, I'm going to start this microphone, I guess. Let's do it.
Alright, so yeah, you guys are going to see what happens when we record an episode remote. We're going to keep sort of everything in that we do, all the mistakes, obviously, with filming. And then on Thursday, you'll get to hear the audio that I have edited down, like our ratings.
I love it. Alright, I'm going to take another bite of this pasta. Which is definitely room temp at this point.
Mine is pretty full. We got everyone here. So, let's get this party started.
You ready to hit your microphone?
Yeah.
Alright. 3,
2,
1, go. Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Sarah.
And this is Deadtime Stories.
Deadtime Stories.
Thanks for coming in. This is episode 100 and... Is it 4?
4.
It is 104.
4.
And we're live streaming. And it's a whole difficult process. But if you're waiting until this comes out on Thursday, you won't even know, unless you were there, what the experience was like.
It honestly, y'all, there's like 30 minutes of material that wasn't even recorded. I mean, it was recorded through video, but not through audio. So,
Colleen says,
"You're welcome."
So yeah, we're recording live on Facebook. It's a whole thing. We're on here like 45 minutes after we intended to be, just because technical difficulties. But if you were patient, maybe it turned out to be better for you because you waited to listen. Or maybe you're the kind of fan, like I assume Christina and Colleen and Zach are, where you watched it live, but then you're still going to listen to the recording later. So that you can
Those are real fans.
This part that happened.
Yeah, please.
Sarah, anything new and exciting in your life right now?
Oh man, I walked from the bedroom to the kitchen today. I unloaded the dishwasher, so big things happening over here in the Hedden's household. No, nothing new other than we have merch. Please buy our merch and please keep listening to the show and telling your friends because we're still here. I'm still editing this 3-star, 2-star content, and that's all I got.
I love it.
Real boring. I know you have more not info. Well, you have more things going on in your life than I do.
I don't know if any of them are things I was going to talk about on the show.
Then we're going to cut it. But Stephanie, anything you want to add?
Yeah, we'll cut this part for the rebroadcast. But, we've got our little black market bakery going on. Like, that's big business. And, I have to figure out a better inventory system for that. And then someone at my job tested positive for the COVID. So now I'm not going to work for a little while. Now, I haven't worked with this person in some time, so it should be fine. But just to be safe, I'm not going in. So that's what's going on there. And so I have a few days off, and I'm going to drink and support my team remotely and have a good time and work on my black market bakery.
And Stephanie's going to live by those, what do we call them? Airport rules.
That's right. Airport rules. I'm awake. I can drink. Colleen,
Airport rules,
0
yeah.
out of 10 would not recommend COVID either. I haven't experienced any, symptoms or anything, but at the same time,
no one wants that.
So
yeah, for those of y'all tuning in for episode 104, we're live streaming. So throughout this episode, we might reference people commenting in and responding to them. So it's almost like a little live stream Q&A / episode recording. So if you hear us talk about Colleen or Zach or Mary Angela, it's not because they're here with us, but they are in spirit, but it's because they're commenting.
They're here in my heart.
Yeah.
They're here watching the Facebook Live.
Exactly.
I love it.
So that's what that means. So, yeah, I don't have anything else. If you want to just
business.
Fucking dive into it. No, everything's kind of the same because life is on hold.
Life is on hold, and it's weird. This whole experience is weird. Everything is weird. Life is weird. But, this is weird.
It's like the stage manager of my life went, hold, please.
Oh, my God. I know.
And then they all went on break. But they didn't tell us. And they were like, hey, everyone, take 3 months. And they were like, thank you, 3 months.
Oh, my God.
And we were like, we were told to just stop talking on stage.
And somebody was in the bathroom like, thank you, 3 months.
Thank you, 3 months.
They were when they got the 3-month call.
Is that going to be the baby's name for this episode? Thank you, 3 months.
Perfect.
And if you listen to last week's episode, you'll realize that reference is to how I name our episodes. They're like babies. I have to listen to them, get to know them.
Kaylee.
Those all get scratched out, though, and we go with something stupid like fecal forgery and Fort Frustrations.
It's your favorite. I know, it's your favorite.
Favorite episode. I peaked way too soon. That's episode 5. We're 100 episodes later, and I still can't stop talking about that episode. I don't know what to do. That one and episode 7, first of all, I wasn't killer, because that's where I talk about the Ditlove Pass. I haven't been able to top them, you guys.
That was wacky. We talked about some shit. Alright, well,
we talked about a lot of shit.
Shit. Sarah,
Stephanie. Leslie.
Y'all ready to talk about
ghosts?
I'm going first this week, and I'm not talking about a ghost.
Well, fuck you. I'm just kidding.
But we say that all the time anyway. So, Sarah, there is a new season of the television show of Dirty John coming out. You'll remember I talked about John Meehan. Right. Now, I was like, how are they going to make a second season of Dirty John? Because John Meehan dead. He dead, girl. But the second season isn't about John Meehan. It is about another true crime case, and it's about the story of a woman named Betty Broderick.
Is this a story you're going to tell? Because I have not watched the show, but I saw the trailer, and I was like, ooh, that looks good.
I haven't even watched the trailer yet, but I know Amanda Peet is there, and I used to have mixed feelings about Amanda Peet. I used to think I didn't like her, and then I realized that she's a good actress. She just usually plays terrible people. And that's no exception with her playing the character of Betty Broderick in the new season of Dear John, or as I like to call it, Ugly Betty. But
oh no!
No, Amanda Peet is not ugly, and neither was Betty Broderick, or is, I guess. She's still alive. But she's a real lady who Amanda Peet is playing. And so I'm going to talk about her. So she met her husband, who would become her husband. First of all, she was born in 1947. She's still alive. She's 72 now. But she met her husband, Dan Broderick, in 1965. He was born in 1944, so he's just like 3 years older than her. But they met when they were both going to college. They went to the University of Notre Dame in South Bend, Indiana. But he's from Pittsburgh. He was the eldest son of a large Catholic family, and both his parents were descendants of Irish immigrants. But they were like a very well-to-do couple, right? Like, he was a doctor. She went to, I said she went to Notre Dame. But, sorry. But, she was like a cute housewife with an education, but her husband had like a double thing going on, where he had like an MD, but he also had, a degree from Harvard Law. Like, he was a smart man. And so she just became a housewife, right? Because he made tons of money with his, like, double, like, doctorate and law degree. He was bringing in bank.
I would hope so.
Yes. He
double the degree, double the money.
So she was a classic 80s housewife in that girl was on them early MLMs. She was selling, like, Tupperware. She was selling Avon. She was, like, a classic hun.
Avon.
Right? Where she was like, hey,
yes,
hun, remember me from high school? This was before they had social media, but she was like, I saw you where you were looking great at the block party, and I was just wondering if you'd be interested in having a Tupperware party. I have this great little side income.
Back when Mary Kay's pink convertibles were legit, and you would actually see people driving those pink, what were they? No, they were convertibles, they were Chevrolets. Cadillacs.
Pink Cadillac.
The pink Mary Kay Cadillac. You actually still saw those?
Side note,
my grandmother still sells Avon.
There you go.
So.
I was gonna say, side note, I knew a girl in high school who her mom sold Mary Kay, and then she started selling Mary Kay. So, like, her mom dragged her into it, and they tried to get me to sell Mary Kay, and I remember being really mad that my mom, like, wouldn't let me. I was like, you don't want to support me as a young entrepreneur, Mom. But that was before I got older and understood that, like, pyramid schemes are, like, terrible. I was just like, my mom doesn't want me to be a businesswoman. But so, little Betty Broderick, she was selling her Tupperware, she was selling Avon, and she was having, like, a good little time in the late 70s, early 80s. So, in 1982, Dan hired 21-year-old Linda Colcana, who was a former airline stewardess for Delta, to be his legal assistant, right? Cute little 21-year-old.
Quote-unquote legal assistant. Legal assistant. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more.
Right.
Yeah, there it is.
So, as early as October 1983, Broderick suspected that Dan was having an affair with Colcana. and she accused her husband of infidelity. Dan denied having an affair with Colcana, and he told Broderick that she was crazy, which is always what you should tell your wife.
Oh, yeah, well, you know, what is this, the 70s? Gaslighting is like you learned that in home ec class, right?
But in, like, parentheses, like, she also, like, is a little crazy. Like, crazy is a word we lean away from now. Because we're like, oh, don't say crazy.
But she is.
But she was a little crazy. Like, she had a little too much going on. So eventually, the marriage broke down, as it do. And he moved out in February of 1985 against Betty's wishes. And he eventually took custody of their children after Betty dumped the children on his doorstep one by one.
One by one?
One by one.
How old were they when she was dumping them off?
They were young. One of them was, one of them was like 10, I want to say was the oldest one. One was 9, one was like 5, and the other one was like 3. So she was like, all right, I'm going to leave you with one of these kids. You know what? Take 2 of them. We'll split them in half. You know what? You take 3 and I'll keep 1. You know what? You just take them.
You're doing so good with all of them. Just take them all.
You just take the children. See how I feel about it, Dan. That was how Betty was. Right?
And she dropped her glass and she left the kids and walked out.
Right, but one at a time. One at a time.
Of course.
So eventually he, he took on all the kids. They were his kids. He's like, I gotta do what I gotta do. And he eventually did confess that he had been having an affair with Colcana. Right? And naturally, the divorce proceedings only got more hostile after, her worst suspicions were confirmed. Broderick versus Broderick became one of the more infamous divorce cases in the U.S., primarily because of issues involving women who had worked while putting their husbands through graduate and professional school. Because she was working while he was going to school, but then once he finished school, he was paying for everything, right? And so he could easily say, well, I make the most money, and I make it, I get to take it. But, he never would have made that money if she hadn't been supporting him through school in the first place. So this was the first case to really make a big deal of, okay, yes, it's your money, but you never would have gotten that money without your wife. Without Mrs. Broderick. So the divorce finalized in 1989. That was 4 years after Dan filed for divorce. So it took 4 years for them to, hash this shit out and get done with.
Of them going back and forth.
But Broderick's behavior, Betty Broderick that would be, became increasingly violent and irrational. She left hundreds of profane messages on Dan's answering machine. She ignored countless restraining orders that forbade her from setting foot on Dan's property. She vandalized his new home and even drove her car into his front door, despite the fact that the children were inside the house at the time.
She ran her car in his front door, and she was like, oops. What does she have to say about that? How does she not get in trouble? She's like, sorry, I didn't see your door there. Is that new?
Right. When did that get put there? When did you put a door there?
That's new. That wasn't there 3 weeks ago.
So, like I said, the divorce finalized in 1989, in February, at the beginning of the year. In April, so the same year, just a few months later, Dan and Colcana got married. Dan and the lady that he was having an affair with. They got married.
All right, well, he's kind of asking for it.
Colcana
Sure,
was
okay.
concerned about Betty Broderick's behavior and even recommended that Dan wear a bulletproof vest to their wedding because she was afraid that Betty was going to do some shit. However, Broderick...
Well, okay, first off, if Betty's going to show up to do some shit, you can bet your ass that Betty's going to get him right between the eyes.
You can Betty your ass that she gonna do it.
She will not miss.
So... Betty didn't show up to the wedding. The wedding went off without a hitch, and that was fine. But after the wedding, Betty claimed that Linda taunted her by sending facial cream and slimming treatment ads by the mail. Betty was saying that Linda was sending her shit to be like, here's how to lose weight, Betty.
Oh, I love that kind of petty bullshit right there.
Oof.
Be like, oh, you like Avon? How about some Slim Fast?
Girl. 8 months after buying a Smith & Wesson revolver and 7 months after Dan and Linda got married, Betty Broderick drove to Dan's house at 1401 Cypress Avenue in the Marston Hills neighborhood of Balboa Park in San Diego. Broderick used a key that she had stolen from her daughter, right? Because obviously her daughter had keys to both houses. She stole her daughter's key to enter the house while the couple slept, and she shot and killed them both in the bed. However, so she shot Linda first.
I told you she wasn't going to miss.
She shot Linda first. She shot her in the chest and the head. Linda was dead almost instantly. She said that Dan didn't die right away and that they, like, had a little conversation. And that he said, like, his last words were, "You did it, you've killed me." Yeah.
What? Okay.
The murders occurred at 5:30 a.m. on Sunday, November 5th, 1989. It was 2 days before Betty's 42nd birthday. 2 bullets hit Linda in the head and chest, killing her instantly. 1 bullet hit Dan in the chest as he apparently was reaching for the phone. 1 bullet hit the wall, and 1 bullet hit the nightstand. Dan was 44, 17 days shy of his 45th birthday. Linda was 28. Evidence was presented at the trial that Betty had removed a phone and answering machine from Dan Broderick's bedroom so that he could not call for help. Medical evidence indicated that Dan had not died right away, and Betty admitted that he had spoken to her after she shot him, and his last words were, "Okay, you shot me, I'm dead." After contacting her daughter Lee and Lee's boyfriend, Broderick turned herself into the police, never denying that she had indeed pulled the trigger 5 times. Broderick's explanation at both trials was that she never planned to kill Dan and Linda, and that her crime was not premeditated. Which I'm like, how are you going to say you took the phone and the answering machine out, but you weren't planning to kill anybody?
I just wanted to have a conversation with them. I didn't want to kill nobody. You know what I thought when I shot her in the head? I figured maybe she would just come out a little bit dumber. Maybe she wouldn't remember anything that happened.
So she had 2 trials, right? At the first trial, it was a hung jury. Yeah. At the second trial, she was like, I gotta change up my story a little bit. So her account of the murders at the second trial was that, again, she wasn't planning on killing them, but she was startled because Linda screamed, "Call the police!" And she immediately fired the gun and shot Linda.
Betty.
So Linda and Dan Broderick, they're listed as buried together at the Greenwood Memorial Park in San Diego. Attorney Jack Early represented Broderick at the trial. Carrie Wells prosecuted for the state of California. Broderick's defense was that she had been a battered wife, claiming that she was driven over the edge by years of psychological, physical, and mental abuse at the hands of her ex-husband. Wells portrayed Broderick as a murderer who planned and schemed to kill her ex-husband and argued to the jury that Broderick was not a battered woman. She had, after all, been getting $16,000 a month in alimony.
What?
$16,000 a month in alimony, in addition to the salary that she was earning working at that time as at like an art gallery. She was also living in a now mind you, this is in like 1982, 1984 maybe, right? This is the early 80s. She was also living in a $650,000 La Jolla beachfront property that Dan had bought for her. She had 2 cars. She had a boyfriend who was living with her at the time of the murders, and she currently had 2 younger sons that were living with her still. Dr.
Oh my God.
The prosecution used the analysis of Dr. Melvin Goldsband, who previously worked on the case for the prosecution. Dietz said Broderick had histrionic and narcissistic personality disorders. Her first trial ended with a hung jury when 2 of the jurors held out for manslaughter. They were like, "No, I don't think it was premeditated.
She needs more.
It just happened." Right,
oh
citing
my
a lack of intent.
gosh.
So a mistrial was declared by Judge Thomas J. Wellen. Betty Broderick was retried a year later with the same defense attorney and the same prosecutor. The second trial was essentially a replay of the first trial. Prosecutor Wells was very successful the second time around when the jury returned with a verdict of 2 counts of second-degree murder. Broderick was sentenced to 2 consecutive terms of 15 years to life, plus 2 years for illegal use of a firearm, which was the maximum under the law at the time. She had been incarcerated since the day she committed the murders. Broderick, at this time, is still serving her sentence at the California Institution for Women in Chino, California. In January of 2010, her first request for parole was denied by the Board of Parole Hearings because she did not show any remorse and did not acknowledge any wrongdoing.
Right? She's like, you know what? Worth it.
She was denied parole in 2011, and again in January of 2017. She will not be eligible again until January of 2032.
Wow.
Yes. Now, there's been a large number of made-for-TV movies about her. There's multiple books about her. She appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show twice. She was on Hard Copy 2020 and a show called Headliners and Legends. There are at least 4 books written about her story, including a book that she wrote herself, which the name of it is not popping up here. And I'm like, no, I want to remember the name of her book. Let me pull that up real quick. Telling on Myself by Betty Broderick. That's the name of her book.
The name of that book comes in a very close second place to If I Did It.
If I Did It, right. If in tiny little letters. Now, originally, of course, OJ's book was If I Did It, but when the rights were given to the Goldmans and the Smiths, the people that, the families of his victims, they changed the cover so it's like if is like if I did it in big letters.
I did it.
So yes, Betty has a book. Now remember, she has never denied committing the crime. That's the difference with OJ. OJ's like, nope, didn't do it. If I did it, this is what I would have done. Betty's like, yeah, I did it. But if I done it, how could you tell me that I was wrong? That was Betty.
She watches Chicago and she's like, yes,
she's like,
that's my life.
He did have it coming. There's also been, there was an episode of Law & Order about her. There was an episode of My Favorite Murder where they talked about her. And the second season of the TV series Dirty John features the story of Betty and Dan Broderick. Betty is being played by Amanda Peet, and Dan is being played by Christian Slater. Who I love. I love Christian Slater. So,
I think it's been a while
Betty
since
Broderick
I've seen him in
still
something.
serving time. She's never denied that she did it, but she's also never really shown remorse or acted like she felt bad about it, which is why she's never been
I feel like
released
she's
on
still
parole.
just worth it. Yeah, she's like, worth it.
Yeah, she's in her 70s.
If I have
and
a chance
she's
to
still
go back,
there,
I'd do it
and
again.
That's what it is.
That's your story and Betty's story, and she's sticking to it now that the second trial
I
is.
happened to catch a glimpse of the closed captioning, and it changed Christian Slater to Christians Later.
Oh, closed captioning. Go home, you're drunk.
And that's Betty's story, and she's sticking to it. I mean, she never denied it. She's like,
She never denied it. She just sort of changed what happened. Yeah.
And that's Betty.
Yay. Damn. All right, well, this is the part of the show where we tell you guys about a promo that we have.
What this looks like on the back end if you're watching on Facebook right now.
Oh, yeah, it's really exciting. So, yeah, this week we're going to be featuring a promo from a podcast called Piecing It Together. Give it a listen. They're a little bit different. They talk about different types of movies and the things that sort of inspired those movies and helped those movies come about. Help those movies come about. Why did those movies come on about? What's about? Why is it coming there? I don't understand. But on this podcast, they piece those questions together. So, as Stephanie likes to say, take a listen. I said it.
So then when we're recording, when we do promos, y'all, we just get quiet
then it's just
for
silence.
a second. And then we act like we just listen to it.
Silence.
I'm definitely going to check that out.
Oh my god. Especially when you say it just like that. I was expecting you to do one of your old school, like, piecing it together. God, I just...
piecing it together. Take a listen. Sarah, what are you talking about this week?
Stephanie, what I'm talking about this week are ghost stories.
Yay!
I'll read about some ghosts because I got some stories.
Oh, I'm so ready.
So I'm going to be bringing you some real first-person account Reddit stories, and I've got 3 of them, and the last one includes an audio clip that I am going to try to make happen live. We're going to see how it goes, so get ready. So yes, these are all coming from a Reddit thread. I've got 2 really good ones, and we'll just take it away. So first one is from a Reddit user under the handle, you'll appreciate this. It's Munchies with a Z.
Oh, I love it already.
MunchYZ. And here we go. It says they lived in an old haunted house while they were in college, and things got so weird that everyone moved out for them and one roommate. And here's a few things that happened. So, 1, they woke up at 3 a.m. because my roommate's door kept opening and slamming shut. From my bed, I yelled for them to stop, only to realize that I was the only one home that weekend. And as soon as I yelled, the slamming stopped, but the hippie beads I had hanging outside my closed door began to sway perfectly yet violently against the door frame for half an hour while I debated if I should pop out my air conditioning unit and jump out the window. I laid in the fetal position in bed till it stopped.
I don't like it.
Number 2, I woke up at 3 a.m. alone again, hearing the Nintendo in the back porch playing loudly. I figured a drunk kid had came in and started playing, so I grabbed a bat, walked towards the back of the house as the music got louder and louder, and as soon as I opened the door, it was completely quiet. Mind you, it was loud enough to wake me up.
And also, why do they have Nintendo on the back porch?
The ghost playing Nintendo. How does the ghost know how to play Nintendo? Number 3, I had friends over and told them the house was haunted, and no one believed me. So I asked the ghost to do anything to prove it was there, and as soon as I asked, all the lights in the house began flickering for about a minute straight. And this was the middle of the day, and everyone witnessed it. I know. I wish that they had, I think this might have been before video phones or, camera phones, but I wish, oh my god, they could have caught some of this. Number 4, almost everyone who stayed over at that house had sleep paralysis at least once in the house. And number 5, every time something spooky happened, the house would smell like old lady, flowery, strong perfume. Number 6, the house had a door built into the flooring that led to the basement.
Old lady brand. Old Lady brand flower perfume.
Old Lady brand flower perfume. Don't you know it?
It's for old ladies.
It's Timeless by Avon.
Brought to you
Have
by
you ever
Betty
smelled
Broderick.
that? Perfume? That's a real perfume. That was my grandmother's perfume, Timeless. That's what it called. That's what it was called, and it was by Avon. And to this day, if I smell it, I'm like,
that's grandma.
That's my grandma.
Yep.
That's my grandma. I'm like, is there an old lady here? And she's like, me? Do you have an Avon catalog? And I'm like, no, ma'am. It's 2020. I don't do pyramid schemes. She's like, what's a pyramid? Number 6. This house had a door built into the flooring that led to the basement. We always had a rug covering it up so no one knew it was there. But things would constantly go missing in the house, and they would turn up in the basement. This house had a coal chute from when it was heated by coal back in the day, and missing stuff would always be placed on the chute downstairs for us to come and get.
Nope. That's a big fucking
Number 7.
From me. Nope.
Yeah, I'm just like, if you're going to take my stuff and then deliberately put it in one spot, what's the point of taking it?
I have a hard
You know, I'm just going to put it back.
moving my things and me not knowing where they go. I don't need a ghost to add to that.
Adding to it. Come on, ghost. Number 7. My roommate had some issues, and once while playing video games late at night, he saw a mist kind of hovering from the kitchen and then move into the bathroom. And the bathroom had a trap door that led to the attic, and that's where we figured the old lady ghost used to like to hang out.
Whoa.
Because, yeah, when I read this the first time, that was the one that stuck out at me as being like, fuck, all of that. Because I don't know about you, but almost any time I'm in the shower, I'll have moments by myself where my eyes are closed, I'm shampooing my hair. Well, you might not get this anymore, Steph. But I'm shampooing my hair and my eyes are closed, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my god, what if I open my eyes and there's like a face right in front of me? There's a ghost there. And this one has the fucking trap door is in the bathroom. Ghost lady is probably in there. I don't like that.
But I mean, I saw Psycho as a young kid, and I was convinced I was going to open my eyes and somebody's going to be slashing through that curtain.
Honestly, tomato for me at this point. Either or, it's someone who should not be in there with me because I did not consent to it. So, number 8. Same roommate was up late, and he went to go lock the doors and turn off the lights. When he turned his back on the room and walked to the door, he heard someone breathe into his ear.
No.
He thought it was...
No.
But he turned into his room, and he was too afraid to come out and turn off the lights and TV. Yup!
No, I don't want to feel anybody... Don't breathe on me. Don't breathe on me, you fucking creep. No! I just want to, like, hide like a turtle. Like, I just want to go in my turtle shell. Like, no,
Get away from me. Yes. That old lady was like...
And she had old lady breath. Dead old lady breath.
She's like, did you grab that Avon? Number 9, loud thumps in the attic at all hours. But for peace of mind, we told ourselves squirrels must have gotten up there. Number 10, voices would wake us up in the middle of the night, and I spent many mornings on the front porch waiting for the sun to come up before I went back in the house. Honestly, move out! Just pack your shit and move out. Get out. Get out.
Yeah,
get out of the house. It's time to go.
House, right? They were renting?
No, they were renting it during college.
Yeah, no, it's not like you own that house and it's like, we got to get out from under this house. When you're renting in college, it's like, fuck this, we're going to another house.
I'm like, fuck this, I'm getting on Tinder. I'll couch hop, bed hop till this semester's over. I'm over
You're
it.
Gonna find those couch hops through Tinder?
I was like, I'd rather have a ghost dick than a ghost in my house. All right?
I'd rather have a ghost dick than a dick ghost.
Than a fucking dick-ass ghost.
Dick-ass ghost?
Dick-ass ghost? That's also could probably be the name of this baby. You dick-ass ghost.
Yeah, Sarah takes notes whenever we say something that she's like, maybe this is the name of the episode. Dick-ass ghost, episode 103. 104.
It falls off like it falls off the tongue. 104. Okay, and number 11. Coincidentally, I had a friend years later that rented from the same landlord, same town, but a different house, where he and all of his roommates moved out because that house was also haunted. I didn't think it was too weird until he was telling me that when all of the weird stuff happened, it was accompanied by an old lady, flowery, stanky perfume. And a lot of people had sleep paralysis in that house as well.
Fuck all of that.
So Grandma might have been attached to the landlord.
To the landlord. So the same landlord owned the other property they moved into?
Maybe. She's like, well, those kids left that place. Let me go get these kids. Maybe they got some Avon.
She's like, I gotta get that perfume. I can't get it anywhere else. It's an Avon exclusive.
Come on. How else are you guys gonna know that I'm here? So that's my first haunted house story. My second one I'm really excited about, and I was going to save it because I was going to use it to accompany me talking about this theme in the future, but I figured I'm just going to go ahead and tell this one as a part of my Reddit haunted houses theme, and then I can also circle back and talk about this in the future. But this one is from user 1LT_obvious, whatever. And they said, I lived in a house that seemed to be haunted by doppelgangers. And that's the thing that I want to talk about in the future is doppelgangers. But, yep, the fact that there's a theory.
Uh-oh, she froze y'all.
Like,
oh, you came back. You froze for a second. Doppelgangers.
Oh, I heard a weird noise. Okay. Sorry. Yes, so doppelgangers, how, some people say that they're like the evil version of you, or it's like a tear in the time-space continuum, and you're seeing like you in another timeline. That's all something that I want to research and like get into and do a whole episode about. But these hauntings, they say they feel like their house seemed to be haunted by doppelganger version of ghosts, entities, whatever. Because every event that ever happened involved some mysterious figure and a known person being in a place where they should not have been. So here are some examples. Number one, I was a teenager at the time, and I was instant messaging my girlfriend at the time with the webcam turned on, and I had the viewer up so that I could see myself in the webcam. And behind me, there were stairs leading up and to the entrance of the living room. My younger sister would typically fall asleep every night on the couch in front of the TV and make her way up to the bed in the middle of the night. At one point in my webcam view, I saw my sister leave the living room and go up the stairs. The thing that struck me as odd was that I didn't hear anything. It was an older Victorian house, so the wooden floor and stairs were loud as fuck. Without saying anything to my girlfriend, I got up, I looked into the living room, and there was my sister passed out on the couch. I sat back down and I asked my girlfriend if she had seen anything on the camera, and she said, yeah, I just saw your sister go upstairs. Number two, my family was all getting ready to go somewhere, and I was sitting in the car with my mom, and we were waiting on my sister, who was still in the house. After a little bit, she comes out, gets in the car, and looks at me like, what the fuck? And I ask her what's wrong, and she says that just before she walked out of the house, she thought I was still inside, so she yelled up the stairs, hey, we're leaving, and apparently I yelled back, okay, I'll be down in a minute.
No.
Yep. Another one from his mom. My mom woke up to someone tapping her foot, and she said someone was standing at the end of her bed who faded out after a couple of seconds, but she said that it looked like the outline of me. I had an encounter where I woke up and felt like someone was under my covers laying up against me.
No.
When I said something, my blanket visibly deflated, and I no longer felt anything. I'm including this with the doppelganger stories because even though I didn't see what I felt under the blanket, it felt like my girlfriend would have been when she was laying against me.
I don't like this.
And last, when I was 22, I was in the military and I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. It still took a year after the diagnosis to separate from the military, but I went home on leave for the holidays about a month after my diagnosis. Now, anyone that has insulin-dependent diabetes typically carries around some sort of kit. Right after I left home to head back from my leave, my mom texts me to ask if I'm missing my diabetes kit. I look, and I'm not. I have it with me.
It was the ghost of his diabetes kit.
She sends me a picture of a diabetic kit and asks if I know it. I have never seen this specific kit before in my life. And apparently, my sister went into her bedroom and discovered it outside of her window, propped up like someone had set it there. Oh, and also, her bedroom is on the second floor. And nobody else we know has diabetes.
And how is it sitting? Just in like the windowsill, but outside?
It's like right on. Yep. Like somebody propped it up, like someone had set it there.
And it wasn't his.
Why is this ghost set his diabetic? And it was a kit that he did not recognize.
The fuck?
I know. So that's my second haunted house story. And then here's my third and final one. And this one is accompanied by audio, so fingers crossed. I'll have to take off my headphones, I think, to play it through the speakers, but I think I'll be able to make it work.
Right, we'll see what happens.
So, the title of this is by user RedWantsBlue80, and this was posted this was posted 6 years ago. However, these things happened in 2013. And the title of the post is Experience Using Sleep as Android App. All right? So the original post is, I use an app called Sleep as Android to improve my sleep, and one of the features is that it records your nighttime noises, snoring, sleep talk, cover ruffles, coughing, etc. I've been using the app since October 1st of 2013, and I've never caught anything other than the sounds created by me changing positions or coughing or something like that. On December at 2:04 a.m., I caught something very weird. To set up, this night, I was sleeping in my bed. My 3-year-old was with me that night as he is very scared of the dark, and it was just the two of us in the whole house. The next night, I decided to go through and delete my recordings and saw this particular record. In it, you can hear some clicks that start to get louder over the course of the recording, and eventually, you can hear me say, "What are you doing?" And immediately after, there is a deep voice that says, "Nothing." The clicks become very loud at that point, and at the very end of the recording, you hear the same voice say, "That's them." I'm pretty creeped out by this. I don't remember being awake.
I have chills up the back of my neck right now.
The only plausible explanation is that I answered my own sleep talking, but the voice doesn't even sound like me or something I could emulate. It definitely doesn't sound like a voice my preschooler would emulate either, and I have no idea what the clicks could be. I keep a fan going at night for white noise, but the clicks sound like they're coming from right near my phone, which is placed right by me on the bedside table. I want to say I've picked up the clicks a few times on recordings, but deleted them thinking it was nothing, and this is the first time I have ever heard anything. Here's the original audio. I would love some debunking here. So she posts the original audio. A whole bunch of listeners jump in and say, this is what we heard, this is what we heard, this is what normal background sounds sound like, etc. And then someone posts a sort of cleaned up version of the audio. So that's what I'm going to play right now as opposed to playing the original audio. See if I can get it up. Just a second. Okay. So I'll let you listen to this, and then I will tell you about what some other people said they thought they heard in the audio as well. I have to unplug my headphones and get SoundCloud open. So give me just a second. Of course, it's going to take forever. Of course. There we go. Okay. And for our people who are still watching, this is all the fun stuff that gets cut in editing.
Right.
Is us pulling up our stuff. Is us pulling up all of our everything. Okay, so here it is. What are you doing? Were you able to hear it?
I didn't hear like any voices, but I heard sounds.
Here it starts again. What are you doing? She says, "What are you doing?" Nothing. And then it's pretty clearly like a male voice saying, "That's them." So I'm going to plug my headphones back in because I'm like reverbing. So again, you clearly hear on the audio, background noise, etc. You hear her in kind of a sleepy voice just say, "What are you doing?" And then immediately after, it's nothing. Then some other noises, those clicks, and then you hear, "That's them," or something, "them." And again, I'll post this audio a little further forward in here, and then I'll post it again right here in the episode. So people on Reddit sort of went crazy with this, and she did an update, and she said, "All right, so this thread is getting some attention, and I have people messaging me for an update or wanting to know if me and my son are okay. Well, this event scared the bejesus out of me. I still use the app, but only for sleep monitoring purposes. I never listen to the recordings, and therefore there has been no updates I can offer. With the latest attention, I did have a Redditor kind enough to offer his professionalism to state that they did not think that the second voice was me, and therefore the theory of the second voice being me sleep talking is less likely to be true. They messaged me, and I'm hoping to work with this person to definitively rule out that the voice was not my own. Anyway, here's a clip of his or her message. They said, the other person in the recording definitely is not you talking to yourself, nor is it son. Your voice's pitch in the question, what are you doing, is around 265 hertz, and the answerer's voice seems to be around 95 hertz. This is relatively a low voice, even for a man. Unfortunately, the recording seems to have clipped a lot of the lower frequencies, which makes it seem like the man's voice is around 190 hertz, but there's a little hint of the 90 hertz tone left, and judging by the upper frequencies and some test recordings of my own voice, I'm a man, it definitely seems and sounds like a man to me. If I had a recording of you talking normally, then trying to make a really low voice, I could definitely tell if my theory is true. Since this thread's been archived, I may create a new one. However, this happened a long time ago. It was pretty traumatizing for me, and I don't think I will ever know what the hell happened that night, but I am now 100% certain that the voice was not mine or my child's. Thanks for your concern. Sorry this post had stayed with many of you in a negative way. So basically, they were told by another user that the other voice that you hear in that recording is at such a low frequency. Number one, it's not hers, a woman's, or her 3-year-old son's. It's definitely a man's, and it's even very low for a normal man's voice on a recording. Unfortunately, she never any other recordings in her sleep app. She never did anything else with it. And as of April 21st, 2015, she posted that she is no longer living at the house where this took place. So there are no more updates from here on out. In all caps, thank God. If you look through the Reddit comments, you've got a 50-50 of people thinking that it's paranormal and people thinking that she had intruders in her house and that they had been coming in while her and her son were sleeping and going through her stuff. And that was one night that she just happened to catch them on camera because she drowsily woke up, said, "What are you doing?" And they responded saying nothing. And then saying to their other person in regards to her and her son in bed, that's them. But it could go either way. It could be a ghost, or it could be the fact that they...
I don't like how I feel.
Neither option is a good option. They both suck.
I was like, both of those are horrible. I don't like either of those.
And yeah, and the audio is super... It still gives me chills, whether it's a ghost or whether it's some other person in the house while they're sleeping in bed. Who cares? It's terrifying.
I don't like it. I don't like that at all, Sarah.
So those are my stories, my 3 stories, and I'm sticking to them.
Yeah, you are.
That's them.
I don't like it.
Or I guess I should
I don't
say,
like how I feel.
You're welcome. Deadtime stories.
Yeah, that's terrifying. I don't like it. And I don't like either. I don't like it. It's a ghost. I don't like that it's people breaking into her house who she talked to and they were like, oh, like, that's them. Like,
she's sleeping. It's fine.
It's fine. She's just talking in her sleep. I don't like
Yep.
Ugh.
I don't like
I hate how I feel right now. Like, I'm cringing. Like, my whole body is like, oh, I don't like it.
You're welcome. Maybe. Well,
that's what happened.
That's our episode.
I don't like it.
My goal is to leave Stephanie feeling very uncomfortable, so feel good about this star content. I did a good job.
Well, if you tuned in on Facebook today, thank you. Especially thank you for your patience at the beginning, but people are still here, so that's exciting.
Yes. I want to say Zach realized the callback to the ghost dick. Thank you, Zach.
Always.
She loves ghost dick callbacks. One day we'll have the ghost dick on the show.
Someday. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming on Facebook. If you watched us on the live stream, that's great. Otherwise, thank you for listening at home when this episode came out. If you want to support the podcast, we have merch now, as you may have seen in the episode, on our website, because we have a website now, Deadtime Stories, with a Z, all one word.com. If you want to support our show, the best way that you can do that is by buying merch or by subscribing to our Patreon. We have $1, $5, and $15 tiers. $1 gets you access to the Patreon exclusive Facebook group, which is a really good time. All the people that are watching live right now are aware of it. And then, of course, we understand right now is a financially difficult time for a lot of people. So the other best way that you can support our show is by leaving us a 5-star review on iTunes. And by telling your friends to leave 5-star reviews. Bump us up from that 4.7 or
please, for a love of God. Yeah, we might give you 2-star content, but we want all the newbies to think that it's 5-star content. This is America.
America. And
it might be 2-star content, but we're number 5.
Instagram, we're Deadtime Stories. Sarah loves your emails at deadtimestories@gmail.com. Shoot her an email. We'll talk about it on the show.
We will. And y'all, I'll be honest, I've been working on our Instagram, and we are like 40 followers away from 700, which is my new goal. So tell your friends to follow our Instagram and to like our Instagram so we can get all those fucking followers to bump us up from our 2-star content.
We just gotta post more #Annabelle shit.
I add that hashtag. That post still gets likes daily.
If you don't know, we had a post that blew up when we had the episode where we talked about the Warrens. and we posted a thing with hashtag Annabelle, and that post has gotten like 1,500 likes. Like, it's crazy. Like,
it's crazy. But these people don't listen, so
that people are liking that post. So every now and then we just throw hashtag Annabelle on a post and see if it brings any attention to us. But, you know.
Hashtag Annabelle, that could be the name of this episode, too.
Bring it back.
Bring it back. Get those. I wonder if I named this episode hashtag Annabelle, if we would immediately get like 1,000 more listens than we normally do.
Bring our rating down to 2 stars, because they'll be like, 2 stars. These bitches didn't once talk about Annabelle.
They didn't talk about Annabelle till the very end. Oh well, Annabelle was a doll. Y'all know.
You all know. She was a raggedy Annabelle.
You would know, because if you're here, you should have started back at the beginning.
That's what Sarah would tell you, episode 1. Grumblethorpe to my mouth a little bit.
Grumblethorpe to my mouth a little bit. And on that note, I'm Sarah.
I'm Stephanie. And this has been Deadtime Stories.
Deadtime Stories.
Thanks for listening, parentheses, or watching.
Whatever you did, thank you. We appreciate you.
All right, I'm hitting stop.
And with that, then we stop recording. And then that's our episode.
That's our episode. Thanks for trucking along with us, y'all. Appreciate you.
That's how we do it, y'all. I saw a few comments come through. Brittany left some comments. Colleen left some comments. She said, nope, don't like that at all. I feel you, girl. Sujat said thanks. Colleen gave some.
5 stars. I love it.
It's Sujat. That's my friend. He's the corporate to my HR. And Charlie's texting me. He's not putting it in the comments. I guess he doesn't want anyone else to know. But he watched it too.
He's like, I have a bad review, so I'm just.
But he's giving us 2 stars.
I'm
just gonna text you my notes, my critiques for you, hun. Here they are.
All right,
he's like, I don't need people knowing that's my dad guy. Thanks, everyone. Who knows if we're gonna do this again or not?
I mean, we kind of figured it out now, so that's cool. Bye.
That's maybe. All right, bye.